28th to order at 7:04. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Peter Talbot.
Here.
Don Walsh.
Here.
David Belver.
Here.
John Mylone.
Here.
Fiona Pearson.
Here.
Tricia Kramer. Here. Greg Wolf.
Here.
Dina Allard. Here. And Jim Jinks.
Here.
Everyone's present.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jumping right into new business, item 3A is the acceptance of $15,915.35 from the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection's Emergency Management Grant to the Fire Department. Mr. Jinks, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Be it resolved, the Town Council approves resolution number 012825-1. Be it resolved, the Town Council accepts $15,915.35 from the Emergency Management Performance Grant through the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection's Division of Emergency Management and Homeland Security for costs related to supporting all hazards emergency management mission areas.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Mr. Velber, thank you. Mr. Jinks for discussion.
Sure, so this is a grant that we have been applying for and receiving for the last, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, Sean? Probably more than, that's what I said, more than a decade. Goes toward, you know, emergency management materials, programs, you know, various items we need for that, for those services, so. Do you have anything else to add, Sean, to that?
No, just as you said, it's an annual appropriation, and also we appropriate an assumption that we're receiving this revenue in the operating budget, so you're really just accepting the grant here. That's why it doesn't say accept and appropriate, because we do have this as one of our many departmental revenue items.
Questions? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Brings us to item B, the reappointment of Yetta Auger as the Town of Cheshire's representative to the Board of Directors of the Central Regional Tourism District. Ms. Kramer, please.
I have no resolution attached to my,
Does anyone have one? It's not in there. You're going to get, yeah, exactly.
be it resolved, the Town Council approves Resolution 012825-2. Be it resolved that the Town Council reappoints Cheshire Chamber of Commerce President Yetta Auger as Cheshire's representative to the Board of Directors of the Central Regional Tourism District for the term December 1st, 2024 through December 1st, 2026.
Thank you, Ms. Kramer. Do we have a second? Ms. Allard, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kramer, for discussion.
It looks like we are, I'm good, thank you. Yeah. It looks like we are reappointing Yetta Auger to Tourism Board for another term that ends December 2026.
Excellent. Questions? Seeing none.
I just want to say she's doing a great job, and I'm more than happy to support her reappointment.
Thank you, Mr. Velber. Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Yetta, and thank you for representing us. Item number C is the amendment reinstatement of the volunteer firefighter pension plan. Mr. Wolf, please. There's been a motion to table item C, the amendment of reinstatement of the volunteer firefighter pension plan. Do we have a second? Mr. Jinks. All those in favor of the table? Motion passes unanimously. Item D is the approval of contract extension with Weston and Sampson to complete construction, administration, and inspection services related to the Bartlam Park South Phase 1 project. Ms. Pearson.
Be it resolved that the Town Council approves Resolution Number 012825-4. Be it resolved that the Town Council hereby approves the contract amendment with Weston and Sampson Engineers for the construction and closeout for the Bartlam Park Phase 1 capital project. And be it further resolved that the Town Council authorizes Town Manager Sean M. Kimball to execute this contract amendment pursuant to the terms and conditions as presented, and the approval by the Town Attorney as to form and function.
Thank you, Mr. Walsh. You were just raising your hand to
Pointing to me.
to allow him.
He beat me out on this one.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Ms. Pearson for discussion.
Most people are aware that the bandshell manufacturer delays resulted in extending the contracts out into July 31st of 2025. There were fees that were prepared in terms of what this would cost and what needed to be extended. According to our Director of Engineering, Merrick Clement, the supplemental fees were lowered after having been reviewed by the engineering department. And they were based on hourly estimates, and additional supplement for CA work may be necessary.
Thank you, Ms. Pearson. Discussion or questions, comments? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. We move to item E, the approval of the town attorney's contract. Ms. Allard.
Mr. Chairman, be it resolved that the Town Council approves Resolution Number 012825-5. Be it resolved that the Town Council approves the successor appointment of Jeff D'Onofrio as Town Attorney for the term February 1st, 2025 through January 31st, 2027, and further approves and authorizes the Town Council Chair to execute the agreement for said appointment per the terms and conditions as presented and attached.
Thank you, Ms. Allard. Thank you, Mr. Walsh. Ms. Allard for discussion.
This is just a continuation of Attorney D'Onofrio, retaining him, and based on the background information, which I just lost on my computer, we're paying a monthly fee, which is a bargain rate compared to what the retainer would be for others, so I think that we're quite fortunate to have this opportunity.
Questions, comments? Mr. Velleber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to say that this council's been very lucky to have found Jeff back in the prior councils when we made a change to a new town attorney. We were glad that we had this opportunity to go out there and search for some, and we were glad we found Jeff. So, Jeff, you've done a great job for this council, and I'm happy to support your reappointment. Thank you.
Mr. Walsh.
I want to echo Mr. Velleber's statement there, and I mean, we've kept him very busy. Fortunately for him and unfortunately for us, but, and I think you've been fair, you've been honest, you've been open to us, and that's all we can ask for our legal representative to do for us, and you're also representing the town, and especially with the schools that are being built, I think you've done a good job with them as well, so, and let's not forget Lou, who has worked really hard too. Lou's had a heck of a year, and I've had many contacts with Lou, and I appreciate all he does too. So if you could pass that along to him, thank you.
Mr. Jinks.
Yeah, I just want to echo what they said as well, Jeff, and you're great to work with. And it's, you bring an awful lot of experience, from your municipal experience over the years, a lot of different towns that we've, it's great when you bring in those examples from other towns. It really is helpful for us to understand, what we're facing. So it's, you're an excellent resource for us. And
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Allard.
Mr. D'Onofrio, thank you so much for always being open to our questions, especially newcomers like myself. I feel like you've been very respectful. I hope you don't do the math, because when I did the math at home to figure out how many hours based on what your hourly rate is, I suspect that you are putting in more hours here than what it factors out to be. So again, I just want to say thank you very much for your dedication to our town. And our
Thank you. Well, it's been my pleasure. It's hard to believe it's been 4 years already. It feels like it was probably a year ago that we were all on Zoom together, right in the height of COVID, really. And I think it was probably January of '21 that I interviewed. And at the time, I said, that I'd always wanted to work with Cheshire. Cheshire is a well-run town with great volunteers, and it certainly has met my expectations. I really enjoy working with all of you and with Sean and all of the town employees. I mean, everybody really cares about the town. Everybody's very passionate about doing what's best for the town, and it makes my job a lot easier. So thank you.
Anyone else? Jeff, I will say, and you stole a little bit of my thunder, I was going to say, I remember sitting in on the interviews, and one of the selling points was how enthusiastic you were to work for the town of Cheshire. The fact that you've been here for 4 years and you still want to work with us, I don't know what it says about your sanity, but we appreciate the continued enthusiasm. And I will echo what my colleagues have said. It's been a real pleasure working with you. A little too closely over the past year and a half, but all good. So we appreciate your candor, your direction that you give us, and it certainly sounds like you're going to be signing up for another stint with the town of Cheshire. So with that said, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. The last item is the Cheshire Police Department Dispatchers, UPS EU, Local 424, Unit 101, for possible discussion and action. And I don't believe there is any discussion or action that needs to take place. So with no motion attached to it, do we still need to table, or we can just? No, just no action. Perfect. Brings us to items G and H. I am referring the town manager's contract to the Personnel Committee and referring the Beautification Ordinance Amendment to Ordinance Review Committee. And am I allowed to do one on the fly as well? It's a special meeting, so you can't amend the agenda. Okay, so I'll save that one for February. We'll have a referral in February, and I'll talk to you about it later, Sean. And with that, before we adjourn, we have an old face who's a new face in the crowd and attending his first meeting with us as our Assistant Town Manager. It is a pleasure to welcome Mr. Andrew Martelli, who we all have worked with, and I know there's been a string of emails from the council sent on everyone's behalf. Andrew, we're thrilled that you're in this position, and we look forward to what you're going to do for us in this new role. So, welcome. And with that, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.